this will be somewhat of a pre-attack on a particular genre or mindset of people on here. Mainly one dude will be used as the example, but before I do that, or if I do it at all, I want to get this out of the way. I don't want to include this in my response that I might do. Plus, I want for people to get a bit of an understanding on how I see the matter in general. So this may be like a reference point type of commentary. To be victim-minded. It's a position that you have not only accepted, but you expect to be victimized. And you'll even seek it out. A victim-minded person will take a situation, say like a panel discussion about Nick Cannon getting fired, or no matter what the situation is, and they'll turn that, twist it, and steer it into it all being about themselves. Now people wondering, how did they go from talking about Joe Biden backpedaling on the stimulus promises to you being raised in an abusive house and ending up in foster homes?
I see you just morphed into reality all of a sudden, right? So do you want to have discourse, or do you want to get down the street? Or do you want to stand here and look exasperated and disgusted?
Could you like stop interrupting you for 5 seconds?
Well, what is your question?
Have you ever been raped?
No, I haven't been raped. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me correct myself. Let me correct myself. Let me correct myself. Because yes, I have been seized. My ancestors were raped.
That's right.
From Europe and West Africa.
That's right.
Rape means to seize. Right?
That is unfortunate.
Okay. It's unfortunate, right? That's what you Edomites always say. Now, do you have another question?
But have you ever had a cock shoved up?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Well, then great.
Well, you know what? Do you have any grievances coming up here?
Of course I have grievances.
So state your grievances, please.
That all men sexually harass women.
So you're saying, so you're generalizing that all men sexually harass women. What do you define as harassment?
Well, there's a kind of a broad spectrum between...
Kind of, right?
She never encountered.
Go ahead.
Shut the fuck up! You want to see the spectrum?
So do you want to have discourse, or do you want to use profanity?
First, there's interrupting me.
Okay, I'll let you speak. Go ahead, speak.
Yeah.
You got the floor.
Oh, really? Have I? Have you stopped interrupting me?
Go ahead.
No. There's a spectrum, and it ranks from interrupting to demeaning to belittling to raping women.
So interrupting, right? So what I just did, that was a form of harassment.
He says,
you gotta get out of here, man. We ain't none of them guys, all right? You ain't about to come up here and cause no spectacle. Call the cops.
Did any of you see him just physically assault?
Call the cops.
Hey, don't touch me.
Hey!
That
is uncalled for.
Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here.
That's right.
Scripts, all right? Get the camera on. Get the camera coming up here causing mischief. All right?
That is a victim-minded individual. You see her throw herself on the ground like that? That man barely touched her, and she just forced herself down on the floor. And that was a big girl, too, so you're not going to just shove no big one down that easily with barely touching her. And she wasn't wearing no high heels or nothing. She came up to them as a victim of men, telling them that all men are rapists. You know, and probably a victim of some form of sexual assault. I don't know, but I do know females that's been assaulted by dudes that turn out just like that chick. And she got arrested for that, by the way. But to be in a state of victimhood, it's a perpetual existence, an identity. A person who lives in a state of victimhood will take a situation that legitimately happened to them or something that's actually going on with them and will weaponize it against people and or will shield themselves with it. Let me give you an example, but let me explain what's going on. A dude named Rick, who people suspect is a child rapist, is being questioned about having kids on this panel one day.
The question, which was, at the Stream King, I'm 13, can I talk to you in Discord? And your response was...
No, I'm not on Discord anymore.
You're not on Discord.
No.
Whereas my response would have been, no, you're 13, that would be inappropriate.
Yeah, that would be appropriate. I'm doing 18s only.
Yes, we are ambushing in Pirate Boy. He knew he was going to be ambushed. I'm sorry. This is the shit show. It's not for the faint-hearted.
But I think the person hosting the panel has has the utmost responsibility to verify that the people that are on his panel are of age.
What?
What?
Rick, may I ask how old you are?
I'm 37.
That's how old Mouse was. Just saying. Still being a washing machine enthusiast at age 37 is enough to justify. I see.
I'm autistic.
No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
What does that mean? Why did you just put that out there?
Because I was born autistic and cerebral palsy.
And that's the only reason? It wasn't as maybe a ploy to get us to somehow feel sympathy for your situation and not and kind of back off? Maybe was that the reason? Why did you? Sydney had a good question. Why did you mention that just now?
Because I think people should need to know.
Okay.
I'm a vulnerable adult.
Well, just like I said that when that kid first came on panel, I had a very good suspicion he was underage. The first time I met you, I thought maybe you were autistic. So
yes, I am autistic.
So this is not a revelation you need to bring forward. It's just interesting that when the heat kind of comes on, you bring those things up. So does that make things okay?
No.
He does that a lot. Even with his husband, who's in prison for child rape, Rick will throw out that his husband only has one leg. Rick has yelled at people, asking them, why are y'all attacking me, a person with a mental disorder? We even know that people who are actual victims of something who will go on to become victimizers. Kid getting molested in the home, take the kid off to daycare, kid starts molesting all the kids at the school. Hassan Campbell is an example. At one point he was a victim of sexual abuse, then he eventually went on to sexually abuse a mentally disabled man. Hassan don't came out of his own mouth and said, I can't be trusted around your kids. He said that out of his mouth. And with the handicapped man, he said it was the other man. It was another man who forced the disabled man to give him oral sex. Essentially trying to downplay his role in it. But there are too many people on here who think that because racism does indeed exist, that the targets of that racism cannot possibly weaponize it and or even use it as a shield. Too many people will pretend that because there is victimization, that there could be no hustling, no lies or rabble-rousing of that victimization. That because we are black, we cannot have the bigotry, the prejudice, and racist hatred of other people. Or there could be no such thing as pulling the race card. This is where I'm coming from when it comes to this thing about being a victim of racism. But let me show you where I'm not coming from.
Hi, YouTube. I just want to dedicate this video. People are just people, whether they have white skin or brown skin, they're just people. So I don't understand when you guys say, why do you love white people so much? They're just people. Now, some people are under the impression that I don't like my own people. That's stupid. What I don't like is people that act like idiots. And everybody's filming themselves acting like a goddamn fool nowadays. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. So as far as white people, why there's no one running around calling anyone the N-word anymore. Maybe they're thinking it, but isn't that warranted with some of the behaviors that are considered black? Yeah, white people have just been really nice to me. They've bought me cars. I was walking out of a barbecue place the other day and my hands were full. This white lady jumps out of her seat, opens the door for me. I was like, thank you so much. That's what I get when I'm walking around. Nobody follows me around stores thinking that I'm going to steal things. They hope that I'll buy things. That's what they do. They follow me around. Not even. I mean, if anything, they're selling to me. They're trying to sell to me. I've never been followed around a store.
Following you through the store because they want to sell you something. And look, we don't even need to come to my comment board and talk about how delusional that mindset is, okay? We already know. But her name is Bernie Tree, and she talks about how, black people are always playing victim, but that's not where I'm coming from. Her and her people done lost their goddamn mind. That ain't me. Another reason I played that clip is to point out that there are two extremes. One side says racism is nothing and or doesn't exist, and the other side says everything is racism. And that's where the victim card comes into play.
At 10, large protests erupted at St. Olaf College in Northfield tonight after racist messages were sent to students. Students demonstrated in the student commons concerned the school is not doing enough to address the issue. According to a letter sent to students by the school president, the racist messages were saying that students of color are not welcome at the school.
Well, turned out it was a black woman who put a note on the windshield wiper of her own car. The note said, "Go back to Africa." She sent other people racist notes too. That happens often on these campuses. Already a hostile climate at that college, and she takes that reality and uses it as a weapon. Jesse Smollett. We remember what he did. Or when we heard about that fire set to a black church. Now we know racists are known for that, but a member of that church did it. But before we found out who did it, of course, the outcry was that racists did it. Some handicapped people don't want your help. Try to hold the door open for them or something else and they'll stop you. I got this, I don't need no help. I got it, I can do it myself. They'll insist on doing it themselves. Other disabled people will try to get others to do everything for them. They won't even get up and get a job, some of them, insisting that their disabilities prevents them from working. So even when the situation is real, some will still want to live as a victim. This last clip I'm going to play, I think it might be my main point in the other video I might do.
My name is Victimhood. I was born of an illicit liaison between justice and need. When it came to victims, my father defended them, but my mother fabricated and glorified them. As a child, I found the louder I cried, the more attention I received. Attention was nice, but what I really wanted was power, and I set out to find it. At first, I hunted tragedy that struck victims without warning. Some victims stayed with me, decayed with me, making tragedy the great central drama of their lives.
Some people call that part at the end trauma bonding. In a state of victimhood, you'll even seek out pain, pursuing ill realities and events. And I can go on, but I'll cut it here.